Hi, John Adamson from Adamson and Associates. Wanted to talk about taxes. We get a lot of questions about taxes. So people say, if I file a proposal, will I lose my tax refund? Other people will say, if I file bankruptcy, am I going to lose my tax refund? And the answer really depends on what you do. Okay, so if you're going to do, say, a proposal, okay, you would not lose your tax refund for the year that you filed the proposal. So what happens in a proposal is you're making an offer to your creditors to settle. Okay, so in a bankruptcy, your assets are vesting in us as trustee, and one of those assets is your tax refund. Whereas in a proposal, your assets do not vest in the trustee. You're offering some amount of money, maybe future payments, to settle the debt. So the bottom line is, in a proposal, you would keep your tax refund. Unless you put a term in the proposal that said you were going to pay that money into the proposal. But generally speaking, I mean, that's pretty rare. So you're in a proposal, you do your taxes, you continue to do your own taxes, there's a refund, it goes to you. In a bankruptcy scenario, it's a little bit different. So the year that you file bankruptcy, the trustee is obligated to file the tax return for that year. So let me give you an example. Say a person files bankruptcy in 2026, and you get to the spring of 2027 and you have to file your tax return for the prior year, right? Because you always do your taxes in the year after. So you would do your taxes in 2027, you'd be doing your 2026 tax return. And we, as trustee, would have to file that tax return. Now, Canada Revenue then makes it a little bit more complicated. They say, well, we want two tax returns. So we want one tax return from January 1st to the day before bankruptcy. So if you think about a year, you do a tax return from January 1st to December 31st. Okay, so you've got this period here, it's a year. But Canada Revenue says, well, we're going to split that year into two periods. So we're going to do from January 1 to the day before bankruptcy. And we're going to call that the pre-bankruptcy period. So any earnings in that pre-bankruptcy period, if you owe tax on that, we're going to include that as a claim in the bankruptcy, and you don't have to pay that tax. So that would be part of the debt that you would wipe out with the bankruptcy. But if you file bankruptcy and then you're earning money after bankruptcy and you owe tax on that money that you're earning afterwards, you have to pay the tax on that. And I think that's fair, right? You draw a line in the sand and you say, okay, up to this date, the tax debt's wiped out. It's part of the bankruptcy, or it gets discharged, okay? But moving forward, if you are earning money, you have to pay the tax on that, okay? So that's kind of how Canada Revenue handles that. Now, they say, well, if there's a refund in either period, whether it's the pre-bankruptcy period, so from January 1 to the day before bankruptcy, or in the post-bankruptcy period, so your earnings after bankruptcy, okay, to December 31st, if there's a refund in either one of those periods, we're going to send that refund to the trustee. It's an asset, and the trustee is going to distribute that out to your creditors. So you would lose any refund in the year of bankruptcy, okay, that would come to the trustee in a bankruptcy scenario, but not in a proposal. And if you're one of these people who haven't maybe done your taxes for a number of years prior, we do see people that come to us and they haven't filed taxes in years, and there's refunds in those years prior to bankruptcy. So maybe a person files bankruptcy in 2026, but they haven't done their tax return since 2023, and there's a refund in 23, 24, 25. Those refunds would come to the trustee, and the trustee would treat it as an asset, and that would be distributed to the creditors. So hopefully that clarifies how we deal with tax returns in a bankruptcy versus a proposal. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call. You can reach me at 310-JOHN. That's 519-310-5646, or connect with me here online. Thank you.